Nigerians are not happy at all. They're very angry at this lady right here. This one. They're screaming, they're shouting, they're throwing tantrums, they're insulting her bad. They're calling her mumu.
I am mumu, I too much. You be mumu. You think say they wise?
Imagine being called mumu by a Nigerian. Say you be mumu, my man, you must go cry if they call you mumu. They're calling her mumu. You know what I mean? Why? Because the woman refused to identify as Nigerian. Now, who is this lady? We're gonna find out just now. Have you ever heard of a story of somebody refusing to identify as a nation and the nation goes ballistic against the person? They've insulted her, they've insulted her ancestors, they've insulted the family, they've called her name, who the hell, yeah. So the woman's name is Kemi Badenoch. Well, Badenoch is not a Nigerian name, okay? And we're gonna find out why Nigerians feel they can insult this lady. So you're asking yourself the question, why are they insulting her? Basically, Badenoch's statement was that she no longer identifies as Nigerian. This has sparkled criticism, and particularly from the Nigerian community. They're very angry.
Well, I think that the BBC certainly wrote that headline. It wasn't quite what I said, but it is true. My main identity is as British. That is what I see myself as. Nigeria is a nationality. It's not an ethnicity. There's no such language as Nigerian. There are lots of different ethnic groups there. And I think that as a politician in this country, we need to be very focused on what is happening here, not what's happening elsewhere. And every day, I see loads of Labour MPs in particular talking about every other country except the UK. If you come to this country, you need to be very focused on making sure that you integrate. And if you're a politician, you need to be 100% focused on British issues. And that's basically what I would say.
So during an interview, this lady said, I do not identify as Nigerian. Stop mentioning Nigerian. I'm not Nigerian. I'm British. Is she right to say that or not? Now, a lot of people are very angry. Like, you see plenty of videos online from Nigerian national. Why? Who do you think you are? We don't want you to be Nigerian. Yeah. How do you, like, why are you angry? Why are you angry at somebody that says he doesn't want to be Nigerian? Now, is she Nigerian? First, let's continue to what she said. She also mentioned that she hasn't renewed the Nigerian passport in 20 years. Badenoch prefer identifying as Yoruba. That's one ethnic group in Nigeria, but not Nigerian. He says I'm Yoruba, I recognize that, but I'm not Nigerian. When you talk about Nigeria, please don't mention me. I'm not part of that nonsense. Don't count me out. So people are very angry at her. They're coming for her. They're insulting her. They're saying she's crazy. Is she really crazy? We're going to find out about that. I identify less with the country than with the specific ethnicity, Yoruba. I have nothing in common with people from the north of the country. Those were our ethnic enemies. Northern Nigeria, you find a lot of people, including Fulanis. Okay, Fulanis are some of the people, amongst them, the majority at least, that are very much involved with kidnapping, with unaliving Christians. Yeah. Yes. So she said, I don't want to be identified with those people. Or any other people for that matter. I identify with my tribe, my ethnic group. Please don't call me Nigeria. I'm not interested. And because of that, people are very angry. They're screaming.
So my Yoruba people, I hope you guys have heard that our Nigerian sister, Kemi Badenoch, the UK politician with Nigerian roots, has reportedly denounced being Nigerian.
UK Conservative political party leader Kemi Badenoch has finally denied her Nigeria identity.
So who is Kemi Badenoch? You certainly want to find out. Kemi Badenoch is a British politician who has served as the leader of the Conservative Party since November 2024. She is the first black woman to lead a major British political party. That's an achievement. Pick up my coffee. You gotta pick up my coffee for her. I understand you don't like her because she refused to identify as Nigerian, especially if you're Nigerian, or even for some other African people where you like, yeah, why is she? Well, but I understand that and I respect that. But we can still pick up my coffee for her for being the first black woman to represent a major political party in Britain. Pick up my coffee. If you're an honest human being, pick up my coffee. Your anger shouldn't blind you from people's achievement. You can be angry at somebody and still recognize their achievement. That is the first level of emotional stability. If you are blinded to everything that's good about a person because they've done one thing that you don't necessarily agree with, you are the problem, my brother. Now, who is she really? Badenoch was born in Britain. She was born in London of Nigerian parents. Okay, born in London of Nigerian parents. And back at that time in Britain, if you were born in the country, you automatically become British. It was a few years later that the prime minister, the lady, what's her name again? I forgot, cancelled the birthright by a change in the constitution. So back in time, when you were born in the UK, you became automatically British, even if your parents were not British. That's how Kemi Badenoch became British. But then later on, they cancelled that because a lot of Africans went to Britain to make babies. You know what Chinese do in America? A lot of Africans will leave Africa, go to Britain, make a baby, get the passport, and return to Africa. That's how they did it. Now, this is a woman who was born in Britain. Now, she says in Nigeria, she was robbed, as you can hear.
You know, remember my experience with the police in Nigeria was very negative, and coming to the UK, my first experience with the police was very positive. You know, the police in Nigeria would rob us. So when people say, "Oh, I had this bad experience with the police because I'm black and they're white," I was like, "What the hell?" You know, I remember the police stole my brother's shoes and his watch.
His shoes?
Yeah, they took his shoes and his watch. It's a very poor country, so you know people do all sorts of things, and giving people a gun is just a license to intimidate. But that's not the bar we should use for British police. Obviously, it should be much higher.
You hear what she says about Nigeria. She says in Nigeria, the police robbed them. They took things from her brother. Now, my question is, was she lying? Why are people angry? People are angry because she's telling the truth. Because if she wasn't telling the truth, people wouldn't be angry. They would be like, yeah, mumu, right? You're mumu. You be mumu. That's it. But you know she's not mumu. That's why you're mumuing her. You understand? She's telling the truth. People get angry not because of lies. Actually, people get really angry because of the truth. She's telling the truth. This is a reality. Is she lying? She said the police in Nigeria would rob us. Let's get the context again. This is a woman who was born in Britain of Nigerian parents. She became British citizen naturally. Then went back to Nigeria for some time with her parent. And the parents realized that the country was in the gutter, was absolutely shithole. Let's send our daughter back to Britain so she can have a life. Yes, she's done great. Right? Were they wrong to do that? Absolutely not. She would have never achieved what she's achieved today if she had stayed in Nigeria. Right? We can recognize that. Kemi Badenoch, or today you as a Nigerian person can say that one Nigerian person has also, led one of the biggest political parties in Britain. It's because of her, right? Even though she refused to acknowledge the link between you and them, right? So she's done great for herself. I mean, were they wrong to do that? The other guy, what's his name? The great champion, Anthony Joshua, right? People claim Anthony Joshua is Nigeria. Do you think Anthony Joshua, should he have applied being in Nigeria his whole life, he would have achieved what he achieved? No, Anthony Joshua, if he came out as Nigerian, do you think Anthony Joshua would have become what he became, making hundreds of millions and winning big world titles and getting the support he got from the Britain? No, he would have not. He would have finished there by the stadium in your neighborhood next to Boko Haram. Israel Adesanya. This man right here. Do you think Adesanya would have been Adesanya if he had become Nigerian? No. Adesanya became Adesanya because first he was New Zealander. Then, he went to China. Then later on, after he'd achieved, then he said, I'm Nigerian. Same as Anthony Joshua. He only went to Nigeria. I mean, let's not get into the details. Is Badenoch lying by saying that the Nigerian police stole from my brother? Okay, let's talk about the Nigerian police. This is the Nigerian police. Okay? Look how they're treating people in the car.
Can you imagine?
Now, was Badenoch wrong by mentioning this? Or people are just angry because it's like you're showing the nakedness that you shouldn't have known, right? You're angry because she's telling the truth about the country you wish would have stayed quiet. Now, is she doing wrong? The problem with Africans is what? You prefer to hide a wound that's rotting. You rather have the wound rotting, but let not the doctor see it. Let not any other person in the room know that I have a wound that's rotting. You would rather have the wound rotting until to a point they have to chop the leg off than have somebody mention, my dear friends, you have a wound, go see the doctor. You don't like that. People are angry at this lady because she's telling something that sounds like the truth. Are you going to be angry at this lady because she says she doesn't want to identify with this? Is that why you're angry? Are you upset? No, sorry. I know there's Nigerians and there's Africans. I mean, Africans love it when you talk about Africa. Let me put it this way for you. Me, I'm not a content creator. A lot of content creators will come and tell you, how can she deny her own ancestors? How can he this? They do that so you can love them and you can put likes and they can have views. I don't care about that. Okay? We are here for critical thinking. How would somebody reject his own people? You must ask yourself a question. Is she crazy? Now, if she was crazy, she wouldn't have achieved what she's achieved. Sorry, right? If she were crazy and you were smarter than her, you would have been far higher than her. But you're not. You know you're not. That's why you're talking about her. She's not talking about you. Right? Good stuff. Do you think all the white people in UK are stupid? Only you are clever to see that she's stupid, she's not intelligent? Now, let me repeat myself. You think all British people are stupid for letting her rise to a point where she will become a leader of a political party that's emphatic? They are all stupid for letting her do that. But only you are clever. You are cleverer than all those UK people, all those British people. And you can see that she's crazy. Why would somebody reject his own people? It's because he's tired. People will reject their own people when they're tired of your behavior, because you're behaving in a way that is unacceptable. People will reject their own people when you're standing out there does not represent their values. They don't want to associate with you anymore. So Kemi Badenoch was born Olukemi Olufunto Adegote. That was a real name when she was born. Olukemi Olufunto Adegote. Well, why did she change the name? I mean, why did she change the name? Because she realized it wasn't taking her anywhere in life. I'm sorry, I know you hurt, I know your feelings attached, but this is the reality. Most of these African countries are shithole, and because they shithole, they hate it when you talk about the truth, okay? She mentioned that she was treated bad in Nigeria by the police, and people are coming for her for that. I mean, should she lie? Should she say Nigeria is a beautiful place, the police respect the rules, everybody lives happy? No, it's not true. I mean, what are the things that are happening in Nigeria? My question is this one. You are angry because she rejects Nigeria. My question is this one also. How many people do you know that are prominent that have rejected their own countries in Africa? Have you heard of Ugandan person say, I don't want Uganda anymore. I don't want to be associated with you anymore. And make it... There are prominent Ugandan people that are out there. Have you ever heard of that? Have you ever heard of a South African Zulu man say, I don't want to be Zulu anymore? That's it. Keep your Zulu-ness or keep your South African-ness. You never hear that. Because people can relay only to something that's positive. I mean, whether you cannot force this woman to say, I love Nigeria if Nigeria is in the gutter. You cannot force this woman to say, happy Nigeria. Don't talk about Nigeria. Why should she talk about Nigeria? What has Nigeria done for this lady? I'm sorry. What have you done for her? What have you done for her to achieve what she's achieved? You're being emotional. You're being purely emotional, my brother and sisters. Insulting her does not change fact. You know? Let's look at the fact, okay? You like fact. Let's talk about the fact. Okay, what's happened in Nigeria? Let's just ask ChatGPT what has occurred in Nigeria in the past 10 days. Okay, let's see. Number 1. Prison flood in Maiduguri, Borno State. Prison flood, what's that? Heavy flooding breached medium security prison facility, allowing 281 inmates to escape. Wow. Of whom 7 have been recaptured. Of 281, only 7 have been recaptured. Crazy stuff. Next thing. Market chairman murdered in Enugu. A market chairman. Man named Stephen Anyagu, chairman of Ogbete Men Market Association, was shot and killed by unnamed gunmen in Enugu State. This is Nigeria for you in the last 10 days. Number 3, election-related shooting in Port Harcourt. During internal election of Ijo Youth Council in Port Harcourt, 2 people were reportedly killed in shooting incidents. Look at that, my man. Number 4, baby factory trafficking rings. Investigative report revealed that baby farms, my brother, baby farms, illegal operation kidnapping of young girls, sometimes as young as 13, forcing them into repeated pregnancies and selling babies. Selling babies on the black market continue to operate in poor southern eastern Nigerian region, despite numerous raids, closure, and... What do you want Benny Benagogs to do? What is she going to do? She can't read. Like, come on, man. Come on. I mean, internationally, what has occurred? Let's check with ChatGPT. Just a few things internationally by Nigerian. Over 50 Nigerian nationals were arrested in Ghana for their involvement in cybercrime, suspected human trafficking. Ghana Immigration Service conducted intelligence-led operation in Accra, leading to the arrest of individuals. Come on. Leave Kemi Badenoch alone. Is she married? Yes. She's married to who? To a white man. Okay. Now, some of you say, well, she married a white man. That's why she's changed. Well, you marry whoever you want to marry. You know, people meet people and it has nothing to do with color. You can meet some people from a different space and they bring some insight that you never had in the past. Can you agree to that? They bring you new things. You start looking at your life differently. For somebody born in Nigeria, whatever happening in Nigeria is absolutely normal. Okay, for somebody born somewhere else, when you bring them to Nigeria, they see Boko Haram, they see kidnapping, they see unaliving of people getting shot in Bono sauce. They go crazy. So Benny Bernadotte, or Benagbeck, I'm killing your name, went to Britain, learned of things, okay, that are unacceptable and refused to associate with that. You must leave her alone. Okay, I think she is right to decide who she is. Why do you want to force her to be? Why do you want to force her? She said she doesn't recognize Nigeria. She's Yoruba. She doesn't want anything to do with Igbo people and Fulani. Leave her alone. Igbo people in most cases are known all across Africa as troublemakers. Am I telling, you can Google it. Am I telling the lies? No. I mean,
Watch this. Watch this. Watch what woman is causing to Igbos in Ghana. Watch. Listen, listen, I am a full-blooded Igbo man, but Igbo people most times do not calculate before they do something. Go to Ghana, there is serious conflict in Ghana. Ghanaians are chasing Nigerians away that they should leave their country because of the stupidity of one man who wants to answer Ezigbo in Ghana, who wants to claim that is much more intelligent than Ghanaians. A country welcomed you to do business and you are trying to do something else to outsmart the indigenous of the country. That is absolute stupidity. This is what the Ghanaians are doing right now. They said Nigerians should leave their country. You go to a country, they welcome you, you are doing business, you are doing well. Instead to concentrate and do your business and come back home and invest, you are trying to build Igbo village, Igbo city in another man's country. What manner of stupidity, what manner of rascality do we see in Igbo people? Are we the only tribe in the world? Why do we make noise anywhere we go to? Are we more intelligent than the Yorubas, than the Fulanis, than the BBOs, the TVs? We think that we are more intelligent than others, whereas we are very stupid set of people. Not everybody, but majority of the Igbo people do not act like people that have common sense. See what they are bringing to the innocent people in Ghana. Innocent Igbos that are living in Ghana doing their businesses. One person, because of greed, self-aggrandizement, wants to bring trouble to the rest of the Igbos. I stop here. But Igbos should rise to the occasion and stop making noise in other man's countries and remain humble. Do your business and get out of those areas and stop being all this stupid as Igbo, as this, as that. Bullshit and rubbish.
look at this. It's me saying this. It's not me. It's Ghanaian. No, is this Ghanaian related to Kemi Badenoch? No. Which country have you seen a person say, I am now disassociating from the entire country? Tell me. No, you show me a person who say, I don't want anything to do with my country anymore. I just want my tribe like Kemi Badenoch. Because she understands something. Now, there is a prominent politician from Nigeria that was like, she's spreading bad ideas about the country and she's misrepresenting. Like, how is she going to represent the country? She grew up in Britain. She was born over there. She's British. I mean, come on. Why don't you let people be themselves? I mean, why don't you allow people to be themselves? People have choices. There's no Nigerian flag, Cameroonian flag, Gabonese flag, Rwanda flag on people here when you're born. Nobody has a flag. People have choice, okay, based on what they want. Matter of fact, most of your countries are fake. They were created by the white man when they came, okay? They never existed before. She says some of the tribe were their enemies. That's what Kemi Badenoch say. She says some of the tribes were enemies. Is she lying? We know the Biafrans in Nigeria, they didn't want to be part of Nigeria because when the British came to Africa, they took a land, they called it Nigeria by force, taking enemies, forcing them to stay together and separating friends and families into different countries. They separated families into different countries, forcing enemies to stay together. And you want one person to be faithful to something that was created by the British by force. Come on. Leave Kemi Badenoch alone. Kemi Badenoch, calling her Mumu. She's not Mumu. The Mumu is you, my friend. You are the Mumu. Because you are the Mumu because everybody doesn't want you. South Africa say you must leave. Ghana say you must pick. You're always there. Oh, Ghana is your sister. You're always attaching yourself to Ghanaians. I've never seen Ghanaians say, oh, Nigeria is our sister. It's always Nigerian people saying, oh, Ghana, you must never enter our problem between us and Ghana. It's always Nigerian. You know, Ghana now say you must leave because you left your country, you went to their country, you want to create a kingdom. Who leaves the country to go to other people's country, create a kingdom? Nobody does that, my brother. When you go to other people's country, you go to Europe, they give you a passport. They expect you to integrate in the system. You must become European. Wankwa, you must become European. When you go to America, you must become American. You must associate to a level that's respectable to the country. Where did Donald Trump's family come from? They came from Europe, right? Is Donald Trump European or American? Trump is European or American? He's American. Are you going to tell him because his ancestors came from Europe, he must identify with Europe? No! Trump is American. Benny Badenoch or Benedict is UK. You can say all you want. Oh, you will never be a white man. Surely she'll never be a white man. You can insult her saying, yeah, because you married a white man, you think you're white. It's okay. Maybe she found some good things. Don't you want to marry a white man? So let's be honest. Would you not marry a white man? Who's his husband? Her husband is Hamish Badenoch. He's a senior investment banker at Deutsche Bank. Her husband, senior investment banker at the Bank of Germany. You wouldn't marry that man? You just want to insult us because you married a white man. You would not marry a white man. Tamaya. Okay, thank you very much, fellas. It was a great pleasure. Rwanda, something happened in Rwanda, but we're going to talk about it some other time. Don't get angry. You know, I understand your stance, but don't bash this woman. Don't bash this woman for making choices, which is understandable. You need to fix the country. Nigeria has to be fixed. You can't say, hey, if you choose, you don't want to be Nigerian. Well, fix the country. If you're smelling bad, you must shower. Stop crying. If you don't want me because I smell, go shower. Wash your teeth and your armpit. Because everybody's pushing back. Even your own people pushing back. Okay? Kemi Badenoch, God bless. Leave a comment before you leave or I will slap you. Mumu.